Folks, I want to put something on your radar that is going to be massive, and that is Dshot. Dshot is a new protocol for talking between the flight controller and the ESC. So it's analogous to One-Shot and Multishot. And I know some of you guys are out there going, what? Multishot only just became the norm, basically, with BLHeli-S. What? We're already abandoning Multishot and going to Dshot. Okay, what have you got for me now? No, this is legitimately a big deal. A Dshot is a digital protocol. And so what that means is right now, Multishot, One-Shot, and PWM are analog, which means that you have an electrical pulse that's transmitted from the flight controller to the ESC, and the length of that pulse determines the throttle value that you're trying to send. So there's a whole lot of ability for inaccuracy in there because the oscillator may be moving at a different speed, so the length of the pulse may not be measured accurately. And by the way, that's why we have to do calibration of our ESCs, because of the difference in the oscillators between the flight controller and the ESC. They have to sync them up and calibrate for the difference. With Dshot, with a digital protocol, there's no more ESC calibration. What? Did I just get your attention? That's right, because with a digital protocol, you're sending digital ones and zeros between the two, and corruption of the values electrical noise in a digital system can corrupt and destroy data, but it can't change data. So when the ESC, when the flight controller wants to tell the ESC to go to 50% throttle, it will just send the value 50% as digital ones and zeros, and the ESC will receive 50%. And there's no need for calibration or anything, just 50% is 50%, done. But there's another advantage to Dshot, as if that wasn't enough. Not having to oh my God, how much time have I spent, and some of you guys out there who also help out on RC groups, I know who you are. How much time have we spent explaining how to freaking calibrate ESCs? Min throttle, min command, PPM. I have literally almost 40 minutes of talking about all this nonsense, and it's all going to go away, and oh my God, won't that be nice? But there's another advantage to Dshot, and I think it's even in some ways more interesting. Boris, and this is the post I've got up on screen, Boris says that in his research and working with the folks who are developing Dshot and etc., has discovered that actually the electrical noise in the system is really working a number on our ESC protocols. And they're making the numbers be very inaccurate, especially during, as he says, rolls, flips, hard maneuvers with high current noise, and etc. And this is a very fascinating thing because it may explain why we see improved performance on higher motor update rates. We've often said, why is there an advantage to running the motor output faster than the PID loop? If your PID loop is running at 2 kilohertz, why might there be an advantage of going to, say, a 32 kilohertz motor update rate? Since the PID loop has not output a new value, we're just telling the ESC again and again the same value. And people said, there can't be an advantage, there's no way. And I said, and I'm going to crow a little bit here, I said, I agree that hypothetically there shouldn't be a difference, but until we get empirical evidence to validate that claim, I'm going to withhold judgment. And here is an explanation for why there may be a difference. If there's electrical noise in the system, when you send the same value, you may not receive the same value every time. So let's say we're sending the ppm value 1500, but because of electrical noise, it is measured by the ESC as 1495. If we are running the motor update faster than the PID loop, then we keep saying 1500, 1500, 1500, 1500, 1500, and it'll average out any electrical noise that's in the system. Isn't that interesting? So one time it might be corrupted by noise and seen as 1495, and one time maybe it's 1500, and one time maybe it's 1505. But overall, the ESC is staying closer to the correct value when you're running the motor update faster if there's a very electrically noisy environment. Now, isn't that fascinating? I think that's absolutely fascinating, and it illustrates why some of us have seen some advantage to running faster motor update rates. And I agree with the premise that there's a certain maximum update frequency that stops being meaningful because the motor and the props can only change speed so fast. And I think it's despite what the race flight guys will tell you, I think there's no point in running motor updates at 32 kilohertz. I can't conceive of how there's a way that that actually is causing the motor to update that fast. However, here we see a case where the flaws in the analog protocol that we're using to talk to the ESC mean that there was an advantage to running at higher rates. And now with Dshot, maybe that advantage will go away and we will see very precise motor control, and we'll see the advantage of the higher update rates go away. Or maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, I think this is really fascinating, really exciting, and it's coming sooner than you think. Beta Flight 301, I believe, or maybe 3.1, maybe 3.1, will support Dshot. 301 does it. 301 is already out. Sorry, 3.1. Beta Flight 3.1 is supposed to support Dshot, and BLHeli S will support Dshot as well in a soon. You're going to see this in a few weeks or months, I would speculate, although I don't know. So get ready, because it's coming and it's going to be awesome. Happy flying.